This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
All right, what year did you graduate? Okay, high school, college, whatever. I graduated college in it was a long time ago, 2007, I think. 2007. I'm joined by my guest here, though. What year did you graduate?
Hi, I'm Justin. I graduated in December of 2023, so pretty recently, actually. So,
Yeah. So we're gonna get just different perspectives on advice that they commonly give to people when they graduate. We'll kind of discuss the nuances of it. So I just did a generic search for the top 10, and we're going to talk about that here today. Now, if you're in the live chat, drop in your thoughts also, your greetings and whatnot. We do have our tech here today who will read your comments to join in the conversation. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's jump into our first bit of advice. All right. So don't panic if you don't have it all figured out. Life isn't a race. Few people have a perfect plan after graduation. Explore, experiment, and allow yourself room to grow. What do you think about that? What are your initial thoughts on that?
yeah, just if you graduate, you have your diploma / your degree. You got through college. You don't have to panic. If you don't have a job or an internship already lined up, you can still. The job market is huge. I don't know if it's just
well, depending on the city.
Just depending on the city, yeah.
So just for context, what city are we in?
We're in Fort Worth right now. So the DFW Metroplex.
DFW Metroplex. Job prospects are pretty good out here. When I graduated in Florida, not so much. It was a beach town, so when you graduated, there wasn't a whole lot of work.
Was it mostly like tourism and all that?
Yeah, tourism. There was a few industries, but yeah, so it definitely depends on where you live. Now, I went to college. I stayed at home, and you did too.
Yes.
So there's that advantage too. When you graduate and you're still at home, you do kind of have that safety net, where you can kind of look for a job
while living for free.
Right, while living for free, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
Fully take advantage of it. My generation found out the hard way. We were still kind of locked into that whole mindset of like graduate, move out, right away. You don't have to do that.
Yeah. I don't regret, but I'd say like maybe take like a month or two of just like you're free, you don't have any schoolwork, just keep applying for jobs, but like just take that time for yourself, honestly, because going into the workforce like right after college, you just go from work to maybe even more work, so you don't have like really time to recover. But yeah, don't panic. If you don't have a plan, just keep calm.
I would say panic a little bit.
Yeah.
Have some urgency, maybe.
Yeah, urgency, but
a little urgency.
Yeah.
I think they typically hire like on quarterly cycles, I think. So that's another thing too. If you're in a particular quarter of the year where they might start, thinking that, hey, we need to hire some people for this upcoming quarter.
Also, I've seen they do hires like right after like the graduation months. So like around January for like the winter graduation, and around June and May for like the summer or the spring graduation.
Right, so, that makes sense.
I've seen that as well.
So typically like December, I think that's when they may start doing interviews. Exactly. November, December, so that January they'll be ready to hire people on. And then like you said with summer, if that's your experience, then yeah, you got to take that into account. So don't relax too much.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't start doing job applications after you graduate. I would do it like even before you graduate, even,
right,
just so that
Now, I'm curious
It
because
takes a while.
I felt this when I graduated. Did you feel a sense of panic within you, like I should be doing something?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because like when you're in school, you're so busy, you got the exams and everything, and then when you have nothing to do, you still have that panicky
Yeah.
feeling, and you're like, I should be doing something that I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like I was like, I cleaned my room, I did my laundry. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna play some games for the rest of the
It's such a odd feeling.
I know.
Who do we have greeting us this morning, by the way? We want to say
Yes.
hi. Let's bring it up on the screen. Let's see. Okay, we got from the Johnson family in Jacksonville, Arkansas. We got Mylene Novello from Blue Ridge. Thank you for joining us. And also Victor Novello. Let's see. 2015 for me. Who's that? Renz, when he graduated. That's our brother, brother Renz, our minister. We also have Joy Ann Ross greeting us. She's in Blue Ridge. We have Ron Seaman greeting us from Jacksonville. Ron, you need to pay attention. Stay tuned till the end of the show. We got some news just for you. All right. Jane greeting us. Oh, it's your mom.
Hi, Mom.
So she's on her way to Baton Rouge. All right.
Yes.
Drive safe. Thank you for tuning in on the road. We also have, we have your wife, Norvi, greeting us. Thank you. Yep. Your mom's proud of you, as she should be. Justin, what did you graduate in, by the way?
I graduated in architectural engineering. So
Yeah. How'd you like that coursework, by the way?
oh, it was like a perfect fit for me. I switched twice actually. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I switched from electrical engineering to architecture.
Same here. I did
yeah.
electrical at one point. I ended up
Nice.
graduating in mathematics.
Oh.
So it was all math.
I see Zoe in there. And
Who's
Caleb.
Zoe?
She's my friend from Cali.
Oh,
Hello.
cool. Hey, how's it
What's
going?
up, Zoe?
From Orange County, from OC. Would you recommend people taking up your major?
If you like math and drawing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. I mean, it's very nuanced because it's not quite civil engineering, but it's not quite architecture. So
Okay.
it's like that in between ground.
Also, it's different from architecture degree. It's
Exactly.
architectural engineering.
Yes.
What's the nuance then?
So basically, in a project, you have the architect, you have the structural engineer, you have the civil engineer, you have the project manager, and then you have us.
Mhm.
So sometimes the architect and the structural engineer, the architect has a design. The
Right.
structural engineer does the calculations and says, no, you can't do this design.
Right.
And we're the ones that make up a design that's both structural and appealing to the architect. And also we do like code inspections and all that, just like making sure everything is up to like building code and also like electrical, mechanical systems. And it's just like basically everything about a building.
Mhm.
We have to really go thoroughly through and be like, is this right? Or is this structural? Is this also like safe for people?
Right. That's
And
interesting. So
exactly.
is this kind of a new field?
Yeah, actually, it's fairly new. My boss, he's about 60, but he said back in his time there were only 3 schools in the world that had that major, and my school, UTA, they just opened up this major when I was like the second batch that went in, so around like 20. I'm gonna age myself here. 2020. That's
This guy's
when
talking
it
about
started
aging himself. Get out of here. Yeah. So I graduated in mathematics. I kind of don't recommend it.
Oh, math is hard. Yeah.
It's hard, and it's like, okay, you're smart, you know math, but then it's like, well, what do you do with it? Like, where does y equals mx plus b relate to
Everything.
anything in the real world? So yeah, you kind of have to learn other things to go with it. So yeah, most of my education's pushed to the bottom of my resume at this point.
I mean,
all right, let's go to our second point.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Keep learning. Graduation isn't the end of learning, it's just a shift. Read books, take online courses, ask questions, and stay curious. Adaptability is key in a rapidly changing world. All right, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for at least my major, 100% agree. Because at least for engineering, I think maybe even like math and business, it's always changing. Like the structure of how things are is not the same from when you learn in school. like 5 years down the road, it might not.
That's the same in my field because I work in like data automation,
Oh
which
wow,
is
yeah.
it's coding
Mhm.
basically, and they're your company that you work for will adopt like new platforms and systems,
Yeah.
and so you're gonna have to learn those things. So you got
Mhm.
to be willing to learn new things, and also in the real world, like things aren't
Oh yeah, they're not
clear
always.
cut. It's not just hey, go do this exactly this way.
Mhm.
Like when you're a professional, you have to be able to solve problems
Exactly.
on your own.
Yeah, I would say the same as for my major too, because we have a lot of code books, and they're like for example the International Residential Code. Um,
Hmm.
so it's called the IRC, but they have like one from 2018, 2021. So they update it every single like almost not every year, but like it keeps changing over and over again. So you have to keep reading those, and then also with like billing systems, some new technology might come out, and you have to be like, hey, is this like really feasible for like our project? Is this really feasible for this project and all that? Like with the have you seen like those 3D printed buildings? I
Yeah, I started seeing that. Those are interesting.
I immediately sussed those out. I was just like, where's all the electrical and plumbing going? But I mean, it's they seem to be doing a lot of it within the system. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I think they're doing one in Texas.
Oh
Um,
yeah, there's a company
yeah, there's
starting to
a,
do that.
but they're doing so these have mostly been like low rise like office buildings, but they're doing like high rises now with like
Yeah,
3D printing. I'm like, dang, that's
yeah,
pretty
and
cool.
with 3D printing, I think it's in this case, it's not like an actual printer. It's like a
Yeah, it's a
big
giant.
machine that basically knows where to put
Hmm.
like cement and all that stuff
Yeah,
to
exactly.
build a structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and like they cut out or they have like special like things so that you can put in like outlets and plumbing and all that. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and that'll help keep
Oh yeah.
costs low once they develop that technology more because yeah, houses are expensive,
Oh
so
yeah.
they had to figure out a way to make it cheaper. Well, let's say outside of work though.
Mm-hmm.
What about learning outside of work? Keep learning. What do
Hmm.
you think of that?
Yeah. I would say continue to like excuse me.
Because like you're into cars,
Oh yeah.
so what have you learned about cars?
Oh, a lot. Like very much a lot.
So
Like
have you changed your own oil yet?
oh yeah, 100%. I've changed like not nearly everything on my car, but I've learned new ways of what not to do, like and what breaks. Like very much new things that break. I'm like, why? I would search it up, and there's like one forum from like 2009
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
has that
Oh
exact
yeah,
break.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like, oh wow.
You know that's what's sad about forums is that they're kind of dying off
Oh yeah,
because
exactly.
everyone's like on Facebook, everyone's kind of centralized.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I miss the
Whenever you try to
forums.
search for something, it doesn't
Yeah.
go into Facebook. It only goes into forums.
Hmm.
But yeah, I can agree with because I started trying to learn how to do things myself with my vehicles, like just basic
Hmm.
maintenance. Because of cost, everything is costing
Oh
so
yeah,
much.
exactly.
So it's like, well, at this point, I should
Just
invest in tools and learn how to do this. And
exactly.
yeah, so it's definitely worth it. So there's not just like learning for the job. There's
Hmm.
like things that can help out in life and enrich our lives.
Hmm.
Oh, what did Rome say? He's enrolled. He's enrolled in the school of hard knocks. Very funny, Rome. All right, let's go to our third point. Let's see, what time do we got? All right, we'll do our thinking cap after this one.
Okay.
Start saving,
Yes.
even if it's small. Build good financial habits early. Automate savings, understand compound interest, avoid lifestyle inflation. It adds up faster than you think. All right, leave that up because that's a lot of stuff. Leave that up. All
Hmm.
right, what do you think of
100%.
this? 100%.
I'm still
I'll
learning
tell you
though.
right now, I did not follow this advice.
No, I'm still trying to learn this
Well,
advice.
you're just 2 years away. I'm like close to 20 years graduated, and still struggling with this. But it that very first point, build good financial habits early.
Yes,
Absolutely,
absolutely.
you will save yourself a lot of headache if you
Oh
do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
because once you're out of college, high school, you'll start getting like more into credit cards and all that, and you'll be like, oh, it's kind of they'll give you like this welcome bonus and all like that free like those points and all that. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh wow, the more I spend, the more points I get, and then
They know what they're doing.
oh yeah, so yeah, don't splurge right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a slippery slope too because
Hmm.
you'll say, okay, well, I can buy this, or I can put it on credit, I'll pay it off, and then something else comes up, you're like, oh, I can go ahead and get this now, and next month, I'll kind of skimp on my coffee, and then you don't skimp on the coffee. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, you got to be careful about the credit cards, because really those should be for like emergencies.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, especially with like the bigger credit cards that you're gonna, and like loans especially.
Yep.
They will build up really fast.
Yeah, I found out after we bought a house, had to get a lot of work done on it, and so the credit card debt started mounting up. We got V saying saving and investing is great to rely on in the future or emergencies.
Yep.
So yeah, invest. Have you done any kind of investments?
I put some into just like the SC, or what's it called again? S&P 500.
Yeah.
My brother got me into Robinhood. He knows a lot more about this stuff.
Your bro does.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
we'll have to talk to him
he
about
does
that.
a lot about like stocks and investments. So he taught me a little bit. He was just like, you know what? I was kind of like, you know what? This is a lot. I'll just put into like a long time like investment. He was like, okay, just go into the S&P. That's a solid.
Yeah. The way I've treated investing is just like I just put a little bit away.
I see,
and I don't think about it.
Oh, exactly. I see Rome also like put a, what's the HVCSA? What's that? Or HYSA?
Get into an HYSA.
Oh. Is that high yield something?
Oh, high yield savings account. Okay.
Account. I see.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot. Like Bitcoin's been a new thing. You got to be careful though.
Oh yeah.
The bigger the reward, the bigger the risk. There was people who lost a lot of money, and that's not just that, just with general investment. So we're not investment experts. So you got to take our advice with a grain of salt. But yeah, just don't get in over your head is what I can say when it comes to investing. Don't gamble. Don't gamble.
Oh yeah,
don't gamble your retirement and future on that. This is a bad idea. Okay. Oh, what is Melanie saying? This is my wife, by the way. So by the time I was 23 and ready to buy my first house, I had enough saved and established good enough credit. So yeah, you're.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she did. Maybe not me.
Not me, right? I'm 25. I'm barely trying to save up for my car.
But yeah, it feels good when you pay off a credit card, though. All right, let's go ahead and go to our first thinking cap. All right, it's going to be college related. So according to research.com, hey, don't go to research.com right now. No cheating. Which college major was not in the top 10 list for best majors to pursue for 2025 for job growth?
Oh, not.
Yeah, which one was not? Which one was not? Is it A, computer science, B, nursing, C, management information systems, or D, business administration? Drop your letter answer in the chat. You just have to drop the letter. You don't have to put the answer. That's how we record the answers. That's how we grade it. I got a whole system set aside for that. And of course, we have 3 thinking caps per show. And at the end of the month, the winner gets a prize. They get a mug. I think I have one up. I don't have one up here. Oh, here it is.
There it is.
Holding our, well, it's not this one. It's a different design. And we did conclude last month's thinking cap, so we do have a winner we're going to announce today. All right. Have you ever considered any of these majors?
Yes, I considered comp sci, and that's about it.
Yeah, I considered comp sci. Actually, if I could go back, I would probably do comp sci because the work I do now would have been
like right up that ballpark.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's jump back into our discussion points.
This is number 4, correct?
Yeah, we're on number 4. Network without an agenda.
I see.
Build genuine relationships. Stay in touch with classmates, professors, and colleagues. I did not do that. Most opportunities come from people, not job boards. I can agree with that.
Yep.
To some degree. When I first started, my first job was in teaching.
Oh, okay.
They're so desperate for teachers. I did not need to have any connections. My job interview wasn't even an interview. They were trying to convince me to work for them.
Wow.
So there's some jobs that are like that where they're really trying to fill people.
Yeah.
You got your first job already, didn't you?
Oh, yes. I got it through LinkedIn, but they still like the point about stay in touch with classmates, professors, and colleagues. I would say more so with the professors, build a really good relationship with them, because my job, at least, and then a lot of other jobs, they ask for recommendation letters from like
Yes, yes.
accomplished people.
Right.
So I had to go back and email my professors. Hi, do you remember me?
Hi, do you remember me?
No. That was only for like one professor, but the other professors, they gave me a recommendation like automatically. So yeah, stay in touch with your professors and even classmates. I helped my friend find a job, not um like um pretty close to my firm
Yeah.
because they were looking for someone, and he ended up getting one. And it can happen to you too. Like you don't. It's not the same thing where like if you right out of high school you go to like different parts of the country,
Hmm.
and you kind of like die out. With college classmates, you're going straight into the job force, and they can get a job before you, and they can be hiring too, and then you can ask them, hey, do y'all have
Right.
an opening?
And that's
So
where it helps always
exactly.
having good relationships with
Hmm.
people, good people relationships. Yeah.
Exactly.
People skills. Because you never know if you have a good relationship with someone and they see your profile on LinkedIn, you're looking for a job, they'll be like,
Hmm.
hey, I remember this guy. He was a
Exactly.
good guy. I'm going to go tell my boss, to hire
Hmm.
this person. That's how I got my first job here in Fort Worth, actually.
Oh.
After I got out of teaching, a friend of mine who knew that I was like really technical and I
Hmm.
loved to code. He was able to get me a job even though I lacked the experience.
Oh
He was
wow.
able to sell me to his boss, like,
Huh.
you need to hire this person,
Hmm.
get him on board. So yeah, it it,
It
it
really,
definitely
yeah.
helps out. But
But also,
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, the opposite can happen too. If you don't have a good people relationships, you know, you might get
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a
yeah.
job and be like, and the one who didn't like you is in that job, and they're like, "Why are you here?" I'll file a complaint with HR or something.
So yeah, and it doesn't have to always be directly related to your work,
Hmm.
because you may help out somebody else in
Hmm.
your network. That's why you build it up. So like, I know people in the airline industry, people who are, still in the education industry.
Hmm.
And like, if I come across somebody who's, in that field looking for that particular bit of work, I can say, hey, talk to my friend here.
Hmm.
And part of the network is like, you kind of vouch for each other already.
Exactly.
Because when you have to hire someone, there's always that risk. Like, who am I hiring? Are they on the FBI's most wanted list and I don't know it? But it's like, well, if this person knows them and is willing to vouch for them,
Hmm.
how bad can they really be?
Exactly.
All right. Were there any other comments? No. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump to our next point.
Going to start small.
Be willing to start small. You may not land your dream job immediately. Oh, that's true.
Hmm.
And that's okay. Entry level work can teach humility, resilience, and skills you didn't know you needed. This is where you still live with your parents. You have that
Yep.
luxury,
Hmm.
so you can build experience.
So, I can kind of attest to this. Not after I graduated. I kind of did a work study, like worked at the same time as I studied at a. It was a boba shop job, so I had to like interact with people,
Yeah.
and
Were you architecturalizing boba?
excuse me, sorry, but no, actually, my employer, he said, I see you were they call it a barista. I just call it, someone who made boba. And they were like, oh, so you know how to talk with people? I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like I had to deal with people my entire shift, and they're like, okay, that's good. And they asked that because I go out to construction sites and I
Hmm.
have to talk with the supervisors, the workers, the contractors, and you have to approach them in a way that's like firm but also friendly, so that you're on their good side, so they'll like do like the fixes that are needed.
Right.
Because if you come off to them as just like someone like, oh, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, do that, like they're gonna get kind
Yeah.
of.
They might drag their feet on their work.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or they might not even do it half the time.
Yeah.
So
Yep, those
um
people skills.
mhm,
Yeah, you can't
very
you can't live in
important.
a you can't exist in a bubble.
Mhm.
I knew, like, in school there's like really really smart and brilliant kids,
Mhm.
but they couldn't talk to anybody.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, like, it's very tough trying to
Yeah.
live in a bubble in the
Mhm.
professional world. Um yeah, I mean, for me, when I went to college, I really got into like coding,
Mhm.
and that's what I wanted to do out of college. was not my first job. It probably took me close to like 8 years
Oh,
before I got
wow.
my first coding job, because what I got instead was teaching. So I
Mhm.
wanted to work right away.
Mhm.
So teaching is not coding, but it was kind of like a side passion that I had. I was a math tutor
Mhm.
in college. That's how I got into teaching. So I was willing to at least work at that for a while. I could still build professionalism,
Exactly.
that skill, through
Mhm.
teaching. We do touch a little bit of data. I also did some coding projects as a teacher, so that when I wanted to switch over to an entry level coding job, it's like, hey,
Mhm.
I'm already a professional.
Mhm.
I do this and that. I can already relate to people, because
Mhm.
teacher, obviously, I got to talk to
Exactly.
hundreds of people a day. So yeah, you may have to take an indirect path.
Exactly. And building up like that work professionalism versus just like, you know, people like, just professionalism in general is very important.
All right, Melanie says, I remember having to sell footwear plans of all things when I worked at a sports retail shop, and the skills I used then are the same skills I use to guide my home
Oh.
buying and selling. So yeah, she's a realtor. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it all can kind of build up on each other.
Exactly.
So like, since I'm in programming, a lot of people who are into coding, they're not very social. So I do have that leverage a little bit, where I'm comfortable talking to people,
Exactly.
versus
Yeah.
like coders who just like, I just want to be in my corner and just like do my work.
They just talk to the computer.
Yeah. All right. It's about time for our second thinking cap. Let's go ahead and jump to it. All right. According to U.S. News and World Report, a large majority of U.S. study abroad students choose to study in Europe.
Hmm.
Which country ranks as number one for U.S. students to study abroad? Is it E, the United Kingdom? Is it F, Spain? Is it G, Italy? Or is it H, France? You ever considered that? Studying abroad?
Uh, Not really, but I think my mom wanted me to, especially in Spain.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
because, like, you can,
Hmm.
broaden your,
Horizon and all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
learn about different cultures,
Hmm.
that you don't completely live in a bubble.
Exactly.
You learn a little bit more about the world. I wouldn't, because for me, math, I was like, this is already hard in English. I'm not gonna go to another country like Japan and add a whole new layer of difficulty onto what I'm already experiencing. So it depends. It depends. Especially if you're gonna get into business, you probably definitely should
Oh yeah.
consider it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because everything's getting connected worldwide. All
Mhm.
right, let's go and jump back into our discussion. What's our next point? Fail forward. Failure isn't fatal, it's feedback. Use every setback to learn, recalibrate, and move ahead stronger. All
Hmm.
right, I'm going to start this. So, this makes sense to us now.
Yes.
In high school, no, not so much, because the way they kind of make you think in high school is like, if you fail, that is
That's
it.
it.
You're
Yep.
going down in your ranking. You got that B. There goes your GPA. It's going down a whole point, this
Mhm.
and that. And that's not how the real world is.
Nope.
Yeah, it's not as high stakes, and unfortunately, like, I think for some high school students, they can get mentally burned out because of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what do you think of that? What are your thoughts on fail forward?
I like that point you made where like in high school, like if you get like a single even C,
Yeah.
like you could drop out of like if you're really like concerned about rankings, then also like the teachers are always just like, oh, they won't allow this like in elementary they'll start saying they won't allow this in middle school. Oh, they won't allow this in high school.
Yeah.
And then college and then high school teachers like, oh, they won't allow this in college, and then college professor like super chill. They're
Yeah,
like
and the professor is more closer to what it's like in the real world,
exactly.
where they just care that you get things done.
Hmm. And the where it says failure isn't fatal, it's feedback. That's 100% because if you always succeed, you're never gonna know um like what makes you fail. If you fail something, you know how to like what makes you fail, and then you learn more
Yeah,
of how to fix that.
you end up with like an invincibility complex. Some like,
Exactly.
you could tell some kids coming out of high
Oh
school
yeah.
who just made all A's. They walk
Hmm.
like nothing in the, like, they're the main character
Uh-huh.
in the story.
Yeah, like I knew this one kid. He got full ride at my school. Like they were basically paying him
Right.
to go to the school because I think he was number 2 or number 1, the salutatorian or valedictorian, and in college he ended up dropping out actually because apparently he had made a C in one of his classes and he never recovered, like because he was just like in his freshman year actually because he
Right.
was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know, like why did I get a C, and then he never knew how to, like,
Yeah, how to deal with it mentally.
exactly. So
Yeah.
in his sophomore year he tried the class again because he wanted to get a better grade, and he ended up failing again.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
doing worse actually. So he ended up just dropping out because he was just mentally tired. So.
Yeah. I know in middle school, I was like A, B, C student. Occasionally, I got a D and an F. I got an F once. Once, my parents would not allow that again. That F that I got in middle school. High school though, I was on the ball. I was like, I'm turning everything in. I don't think I make lower than a B in high school. I think I might have made a C once somewhere, but yeah, it's not healthy for your psyche to think that way. And high school's kind of that way where it's like everything is just clear cut, right? It's like, here's the question, we're looking for this answer
and that answer only,
right? And I think in your field especially, the answer can
it can be anything,
right? Because it's like that's what engineering is. You got to design the answer. Okay, there's no answer given. You have to come up with the answer.
Yeah, there are some supervisors or like construction site teams that ask me, "Oh, what's the solution?" I'm just like, "There's a lot of solutions. I'm gonna help you find them, but you have to like choose which one."
Yep.
So
let's see what do we got
I like
here.
that advice from Andre.
Go ahead and read it.
Oh, you won't know what success is if you don't know what failure is, and 100%.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You know what? If you work on cars, you'll know exactly what failure is. I'll tell you that right now.
I've broken things I didn't know was supposed to break.
I swapped out all of the brakes on my car, and then my car would not move. Put it in the gear, and the brakes were completely locked up. So I found out brakes aren't like, what do you call it? They're not like universal. It's like you have to put one on the inside, one on the outside. It's very specific.
Yes. And also you have to keep in mind in brakes, like, don't put the fluid in before like everything, because otherwise you'll get that lock, and once you brake, it might even like crack the pads already, because
I've done that. So yeah, maybe everyone should work on cars when they're in high school.
Oh yeah.
Get grounded in reality a little bit. All right, we got Brother Oliver Villanueva. He's one of our ministers. In every 100 failures is even less one success, but keep going, and one success is way beyond the 100 failures. Yep. You know, when you get into coding too, you're failing all day long. It's what debugging is. It's like you're just, here's the code and it's gonna say wrong, so you gotta like adjust it. But you know, that's where kind of the disconnect is with high school. It's like one and done. Right, versus the real world. If you fail, it's like we said, it's just feedback. It's like, okay, go back to the drawing board and then take a new approach.
Now I would say like it kind of depends on which major, because I know in medicine you have to be very exact, otherwise, you know, in the real world.
Yes, you bring up a very good point. You don't want to be too casual with failure.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
There's some failures you cannot afford to have, so you have to be extra careful. Make sure you don't fail. You know, like with brakes. You know, if you change out the fluid and you don't do it right, well, you don't have brakes.
You don't have brakes. Yep.
So you can't necessarily 100% agree with this. There's some more nuance, but in general, yeah, we agree with that.
Yeah, be okay with failure. It's okay.
All right, what's our next point? Manage your online presence. Oh, this is probably something for like
the younger generation.
Your generation and my generation. All right, Google yourself. Clean up your social media. Create a LinkedIn profile that reflects your goals. Employers and collaborators will look you up. You know, that is true, especially as like my generation and your generation starts taking over HR departments.
Yep.
And they want to know about this person. They are going to look you up.
Oh yeah, they're sometimes better than FBI agents.
Oh,
they're gonna look you up.
Yeah, they want to know exactly who they're hiring, and you can't be so casual and nonchalant about your online presence.
Hmm.
That's probably something I need to do.
I don't know if you're into football too much, but there's this quarterback named Josh Allen. He's like a great guy now, like face of the franchise for like his team.
Right.
And
yeah, for the Buffalo Bills,
yep.
right? Yeah.
And they found his Twitter account way back like 2011.
Yeah,
and
he was like a kid.
Yeah, like just
and he just said things off his head,
I'm like
trying to be funny or whatever.
Like, man, they found that. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, granted, he is a celebrity, but like,
right. And you see the debate. People are pushing back, like, man, this was a kid. He was a kid. Are you really gonna bring this up when he's like a 30-year-old man?
Exactly. Yeah. But like that can go for anyone too. Like you don't have to be a celebrity for someone to just look you up and be like, oh.
Yeah, especially if you're in the NFL, because your public image also plays into everything. So yeah, I agree with this. Manage your online presence. Make sure things aren't too public. Maybe while there's still time, take some things down. Make some things private. So yeah. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes.
I do not like LinkedIn.
it's not the best.
It's so corporate.
But, oh yeah, so it's corporate.
For the sake of anyone on LinkedIn who found me here, I love LinkedIn. All right, let's go to our next point.
We should connect on LinkedIn.
Yeah, let's connect. I'm down with that. Ask for what you want. Advocate for yourself, be it a raise, a new project, or time off. Closed mouths don't get fed. Confidence opens doors.
I haven't exactly experienced this yet. Like, it's a bit.
I think you need to be careful about this. Yes. It's also like know your place. I mean, if you're like a new hire and you're like, I want 4 weeks vacation right now, well, you're not getting it. Exactly. Like, who are you to demand things? And they're very critical about like our generation.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's already in their mindset like this generation's entitled. So this advice, ask for what you want. It's like
be careful about that.
Yeah, I would be very, very careful about that.
Maybe. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I mean this is for like recent graduates, so I don't think as early as now you should be asking for what you want, but still be firm in like your goals at least, or like in because a lot of job interviewers they'll ask you, oh, how do you see yourself in 5 years if you're working here? So you have to, in that sense, you have to, be where it says confidence opens doors. They need to see like if you're all in on, your career or not. But otherwise, don't be like, I want 120,000 off the door with like 4 weeks of vacation.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
There's definitely a thing called like leverage and whether or not you actually have that leverage to be demanding things. But at the same time, a lot of maybe good managers, I would say, if your company like trains the managers really well, they actually do want to know like your thoughts and feelings on things. They want you to be honest and upfront because that's information for them to properly, help you out.
Exactly.
Because they're invested in you. It's not. It can be a two-way street, but not all bosses, unfortunately. So you kind of have to get a feel for like who your employer is. Like if you get a feeling that like, hey, they really want to make sure I'm taken care of, then you should advocate for yourself. So there's like a few times at work, where I had some problems maybe with like with my parents far away. It's like I need to go and take care of this, and help out my parents with something. They want to know that, so they know like, okay, I understand. Maybe there's a dip in performance, so they're aware of what's going on. So you kind of have to find that right balance when it comes to this advice.
Exactly.
So this is tying back to like your relationships.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a good relationship with your employer and your coworkers?
Yeah, build up a rapport first before you ask for a raise. Because also, if it's where it says ask for a new project, that's a double-edged sword. Because if you ask for a new project and they trust you enough to give it to you, you better do the work for that.
Yeah.
So you better not just be like, oh, okay, I have it, and just like brag about it.
And I've always been timid about asking for raises. I don't know why. That's probably something I was ingrained in my mind to, not be asking for more money. But time off, I don't know. I'm older. I'm close to 40. Be 40 this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when I want to take time off, I just take it. I'm like, bye. But yeah, so I think the nuance in this, I don't fully agree with this. It's just make sure you have that relationship built up first.
Especially for recent graduates. Don't just
Yeah, if your resume is more white space than anything, then yeah.
Oh yeah, if your resume is just like I did orchestra in high school,
Yeah.
don't do this.
All right, let's go to point number 9. Protect your time and energy. Learn to say no gracefully. Burnout is real.
Okay.
Prioritize your mental health and rest as much as your ambition. So, I think in the past 5 to 10 years, there's been a lot of discussion about like burnout and mental health.
Mhm.
I think maybe it can also go too far.
Yes.
At the same time, it's like you need to toughen up.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I totally get that. But burnout is real. But also, like, take take what you need, not what you want.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. So like, if you're like only getting if you're getting over burnt out and you just need a day, just take that one day and then get right back to it. But
Absolutely.
if you're like burnt out and like just a little bit and you're just like, oh, I don't feel like working, but you can totally do the work, don't take like an entire month off. you know
Right. Yeah, there's a lot more nuance to this. And unfortunately, I feel like in society, everyone wants to simplify everything into like really simple sayings.
hmm
So like, mental health and, burnout is real. Okay. It is real, but you also need to put things in the context
hmm
too. And I think about like, well, I'm not coal mining. I don't work 7 days a week, right? Those people didn't have a choice.
I'm not on an oil rig.
They just lived on burnout. Their whole life was burnout. So, but mental health is real. So
Mhm.
you also don't want to belittle that. You don't want to say,
Exactly.
"Well, I'm not a coal miner, so I can just
Mhm.
destroy my mental health because I have life easy."
Mhm.
You got to find that balance and nuance,
Mhm.
okay? Because mental health is different for everyone. But at the same time, I really think, especially for our generation, you need to strengthen your
Your
mental
mental.
health.
Exactly.
So not just take care of it, but learn how to make it stronger
Mhm.
so that you're more resilient. And I think in the job market, you're going to need that especially
Oh yes, definitely.
because there's kind of a disconnect between like high school and the real world. We talked about that earlier,
Mhm.
right? And
There's still kind of a disconnect between even college and the real world, just a little bit, but like
right.
there's still that disconnect.
And yeah, you have to know how to take care of your own mental health and make it
Mhm.
stronger. So, this is where I kind of agree and disagree. Let's see. Don't ghost clients and customers. Try to be as responsive as possible. Yeah, communication is a big thing.
Very. Yeah. But yeah. But also at the same time, like also put into mind that if you're taking time off, work is still your work is still going. So if your work will end up probably going to another guy, and you'll make him or her like more stressed if you're off for like an entire month versus if you can get back in a day, okay, like maybe I can take some of his work and then the next day
Yeah.
he'll take the rest of it back, like
It sounds like someone at your work is
well
taking
there's
too much time off.
well there's only 3 of us, so
Yeah. Teamwork is definitely a thing.
hmm
So not just your mental health, but the people that you work immediately with. Like, are you causing their mental health to be unhealthy?
yeah,
Are you
exactly.
causing them mental illness? So yeah, you don't want to be that either.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely that in the workforce where you feel like some of your coworkers, they really just exist for themselves.
hmm
And it's like we're a team. And I,
hmm
I hated working on teams where it was just like I'm just taking care of myself and that's it.
exactly.
Where they
that's
don't really care.
that's not a team then.
Yeah. And it's like we can, do a lot better work, not only for ourselves but for the company that we work for.
hmm
If we work together, if we
hmm
cooperate and help each other out.
yeah, I like, or what does that comment say? Fake it until you learn, or fake it until you make it. Learn to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Huh. Yeah, fake it till you make it, but
That's a whole other thing. Fake it until you make it.
but don't fake it too much.
Imposter syndrome. Um, Gosh, I feel like that like all the time where
hmm
like, how am I in this job? But then sometimes with my coworkers, I'm like, how are you in this job?
Or-
But yeah, I mean, fake it till you make it. That's maybe another way of saying like have confidence in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in just this generation, it's kind of like it is what it is. Like that's what we say now.
Is it?
Yeah, it is what it is. So
Yeah. So also, when it comes to protecting your time and energy, if you have those days off, you need to spend them
oh yeah.
because the reality is your company can just fire you.
Hmm.
They really don't owe you anything. I think we saw that like with our parents
Hmm.
when they went through like the recession.
Hmm.
Yeah, companies have no real loyalty to take care of you.
Exactly.
You know, in the end, they may have to let people go. So
Yeah.
you really gotta do that work-life balance. But in my opinion, this is the advice I give. It should not be balanced. It should be imbalanced.
Exactly.
Your life, in my
Should
opinion,
take more priority over
your work because your work
Yeah.
will not care for you when you know.
Oh yeah. Once the money starts going, you're leaving too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have to understand. I mean, and this is just understanding like how everything actually works.
Hmm.
Just living in reality and
Mhm.
just accepting it and then knowing how to operate it. Let's go to our third thinking cap. All right. According to U.S. News and my bad. Which university spends the most on athletes, averaging over 300,000? Oh, I'm in the
Wow.
wrong business. I should have been a football player.
know.
Is it the University of Texas at Austin? Is it Louisiana State University? Is it the University of Florida? Or is it the University of Kentucky? So this is probably football.
Yeah, 100. I'm
Because I think it was recently they allowed the
the
student athletes
NIL.
to be paid.
Yeah, NIL deals. Those are insane.
I
Like
have not looked. So how does that work?
I think well, I think they limited the amount. I'm not 100%. I'm not really into college football, but I do know that if I know that if a college or a university really wants someone to play for them, they can offer like $1 million
Really?
scholarship to them. Imagine an 18, 17-year-old kid who's like really good at football just being a millionaire off the bat.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
crazy. But
I mean, because before they were not getting paid to play really violent contact sports.
oh yeah,
Where now they're getting paid a lot. So we're on a
exactly.
completely different end of the spectrum. We're gonna find out in like 10 years when the documentaries come out about whether this was good or not.
This is gonna be about like Arch Manning or something.
Yeah, but this is interesting. So, well, I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. I don't have an opinion on it yet. All right, let's go ahead and go jump back into our discussion. We're almost done.
Let's see, you're not.
Oh, we're on number 10.
Oh wow, that's the
Okay.
last one. Okay.
I guess at the end of the show, maybe we'll come up with our own advice.
Yeah.
All right. You're not behind. No matter what others are doing or posting, trust your own journey. Comparison steals joy.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on your progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's keeping up with the Joneses. That's what our parents would say. That was their saying. What do you think about that?
Oh, 100%. I felt well. I did feel behind because again, I switched twice, and my friends were already graduating. But then, you know, but I ended up finding a major that I really do like, and you know, it ended up better for me in the end. So I mean, it kind of felt like I caught up, but at the same, you're never behind. Like a lot of people are on their own timeline.
Right. That's trying to get out of that high school mentality
Exactly.
too. It's like if you're behind, you feel like you're a grade behind.
Exactly. But at the same time, like if you're, what's it called? Well, actually, this more so applies to high school, where if you're like 20 and you're still a senior, you might want to get your act on. But
Yeah. So I was about to ask you about that. It's like, where would you disagree about that? And it's like, yeah, maybe have some inspiration in
Mhm.
others, or as much as we don't want.
urgency.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we don't want to compare ourselves to others, in an extreme degree. At the same time, it's like, are you paying your bills? Are you taking care of yourself? Should at least, there should be at least be a baseline
Exactly.
of where you would compare yourself. But yeah, I agree with
Yeah, no,
the.
exactly.
I agree with this. Like, everyone is, this is again breaking out of that high school mentality where everything has to be very discrete grade
Mhm.
levels. But yeah, everyone's going to be in their own, career path in life. Yeah, don't feel like others are judging you as much, but also don't, judge others,
Exactly.
because there's
I
definitely
mean,
two sides to that coin.
yeah, life happens. So if life happens, you have to take a gap year from college and or even 2 years. Like if you really can't afford it, or if that your
Yeah,
life just
just
continues.
depends. What are you doing in that gap years?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like, what are you doing? But
As a parent, I'm like, are you playing Xbox? What are you doing for 2 years? Like, I could get it if like maybe you wanted to get some job experience
hmm
and not rush college. Like looking back now, um, I would say while you're in college, try to get job experience. Don't try to rush graduation if you can help it. When I was in college, my scholarship was dependent on me graduating like on time. I could not take a break.
hmm
But like what I'm seeing from my son, um, I don't want him to graduate college without any real world experience,
hmm
because when you go looking for a job, it's like, what do you have to offer?
Yeah, and a lot of like entry level jobs, they'll be like, oh, required 5 years of experience. Where am I going to get that experience if if this is
Right.
an entry level?
So
So,
that's actually the advice I would give to those like graduating like high school while they're
hmm
in college. Let's see, what does Mylene have to say? I have an internship in your junior year. 90% of the time, the company will offer you a permanent job since they already invested you time and resources.
yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
hmm
Because it's not just the job, but it's like how everyone does everything at a job.
hmm
Especially if it's corporate, onboarding can take like a month or two.
Exactly. Well,
So
for me, it took like half a year.
yeah, onboarding somebody. So that's where
So,
they're paying you essentially to do nothing.
yeah,
They're losing money right off the bat, investing in you basically.
exactly.
So yeah, that's where it helps. If you're already familiar with the company, it's like, hey, we don't have to reorient this guy.
hmm
He can switch right over and he's ready from day one. So
Exactly.
yeah, that is solid advice.
hmm
Yeah, have some experience. So I did not follow that at all. It was high school.
Exactly.
They put that in mind, like, go to college, get this degree, and then you will get a job. You will not get a job. I'll tell you that right now. Or you're not going to get a job right away. Well, maybe not all majors. I think like nursing,
Mm.
there's more of that pipeline where.
That reminded me. In junior year of my high school, we had a chance to like get an internship with Lockheed Martin,
Mhm.
and it was like kind of like a competition. There were like two students, and they would interview against each other for only one position. I ended up not getting it, but the one that did get it, the one that I had to go up against, he ended up like just he got the job like right out of high school, but then it interfered with like his college stuff, so he just gave up the job right away. But um,
He failed forward.
I don't know where he is now. I just heard
Oh,
that
okay,
he
okay.
quit that job.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I should have. I should have tried harder, maybe.
I know another
But
thing is like related to that. I had some friends. It seemed like they were jumping jobs like every 3 months. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
how do you do that?
you're just like 2 weeks, 2 weeks out. You're just like I'm like,
Yeah, I don't
seriously.
understand that mindset. I don't think I can fully judge, because I guess they're looking out more for themselves. But
Yeah,
like the way I think of some things, like even if I don't like a job, I'm like, I need to at least be
like
at this job maybe for at least a year
yeah,
and
exactly.
give it an honest attempt, because like I said, like when you onboard,
hmm
they invested in you to work for the company. So it's like, maybe give a little bit back. It might also look bad in your resume. It's like, when did you jump around so many times?
Exactly.
So
I think that's more so for the newer generation for some reason. I still don't get it.
yeah, and I'm seeing all over the news, they are very critical about this new generation. So I think you need to, when you go into an interview, you want to make sure you stand out. That's the advice I'm giving to
hmm
this new generation. You need to
Yes.
know what, these people who are hiring you are thinking of your generation, what they're assuming of you,
hmm
and you need to break that mold whenever you go into an interview.
And that's kind of what my employer said about me. He said right from my first interview, I stood out from the other interviewees, and he knew right away that I was the one to hire because I showed like I was willing to work hard in like any work that I get or like any um, or I would like be very willing to learn. Like if you just close yourself off and a question he asked me that stuck with me in an interview was just like, are you looking for a job or are you looking for a career?
Hmm.
There's a very big difference between those two because job you're just like blah 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 like I'm just clocking in clocking out, but a career is something like you put your hard work into and like actually learn more about and actually enjoy doing. So that's also what stood out to me or like stood out to him where I was just like, oh, I'm looking for 100% a career, like this is something I love doing, and he's show passion basically. So
Right. Actually, later this month, we're going to actually talk about like top 10 advice for job hunters.
oh, I see.
So
Yeah, there you
related
go.
to this. So this would be pretty cool. All right. Let's go ahead and jump to our leaderboard. We have an announcement to make.
There we go.
All right. Let's start it from the beginning. We kind of spoiled the ending. All right. So we start at the bottom. So we have Froy Francisco, Jane, Joe Miller, Noel, Renz twice. Oh no, Renz, you had 2 points, not one. Brother Ray Velasco and V Gab at the bottom. Then of course we have Brother Andre Silva, Desiree Gabrantina, Diane Silva, Irish Ramirez, MC Ramos, MF Weir. Oh, that's my best friend's. That's my best friend actually. He tuned in one episode. Christian Ross and Edalu Gutierrez from this month. We also have Brother Matt Bungai, Ivy Villanueva, Norby Shozen, Brother Oliver Gabrantina, Brother Oliver Villanueva, our ministers, Andre Silva. Oh, is that the second one? Johnny Collins and Leah David. So make sure if you have multiple YouTube accounts, you answer the questions with the same account, because I've seen that before. But of course, we have our winner here. Oh, winners! We have winners.
Oh, we got.
All right.
Hey, it's a three-way tie.
Is it three? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't put it in order. So it's Ron Seaman, Fredolyn Boer, Johnson family. No, and Mila Johnson. Who
Huh.
won? Oh,
There
I
you
got
go.
3 mugs I got to order. All right. I think they're all from Jacksonville, too.
Wow.
All right. Maybe I'll just send one big package to Jacksonville. Take care of it. But congratulations. We thank you for participating this month. So before we close out, maybe some final advice. Think of maybe something that we didn't mention. I'll go first to give you some time to think. But one advice that I would give to recent graduates is that like work isn't everything, because I don't even think we mentioned family
Oh
at
yeah.
all. And family is one of those things that's going to be with you for your whole life. So make sure that, like I mentioned before, when it comes to work life balance, I guess I don't want to be fully judgy if you do want to focus on your career at some point, but family is something that, I mean, you only have so many years where you can start a family. So make sure you don't be completely relaxed. Have some sense of urgency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then family, should be something that really matters to yourself and your career. And I would say too that maybe you may not agree with that right away. I know when I was younger, I didn't fully agree with that, but as I grow older, and this is why you see like your grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
they really just love being around their family. When you get older, it completely makes sense. So make sure you don't like ruin your relationships with your family.
Mm-hmm.
That's the advice I would give closing. What about you?
I know you gave me more time to think, but the only thing I could like think of is just pray. Just have faith that like have a devotional prayer, like set a time every day. If you're really looking for a job, if you feel like you're falling behind, just be like, hey, I feel like I'm feeling this way. Um, can I please find a job or grant me success in my interviews and all that, and just really get in that mindset that you're not alone in this. Like you'll always have God with you. So
Absolutely. That's a perfect way to end this show. All right. We thank you for joining us here today. I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in today. I also have some special thanks I'd like to read. Our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Tarai, our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Arano Manalo, and of course her executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Leave us a like. Don't forget to like, comment, share, etc. You know what to do. But we'll see you again next week, same time, as we do more top 10 advice for this whole month. Have a good one. Did you sign the hat? Oh, you did.
Yes, I think I sent it.
Did you sign the hat?
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or